In this lecture, we will talk about the pay for principle. What this means that the company is pushed to be leading in the to be environmentally responsible and go way beyond what the law requires, and they do almost everything to reduce their ecological footprint, be it water usage or be it reducing their carbon footprint. They will do everything which ensures that their ecological footprint comes down. So in this case, they are going way beyond what the law basically requires. And when does this happen? This happens when the major shareholders in the company are extremely conscious about environmental issues. We see that the earlier lectures in which we talked about take the low road strategy, wait and see strategy, and the show and tell strategy, all these three uh, were in the domain of doing what the law requires, or doing a little more than what the law requires. Pay for principle is one of the highest strategies in which a company does all that can be done to ensure that it has a less ecological footprint, and hence you can already guess that the level of compliance must be highest in this case. All the employees of the company, the shareholders of the company, the management of the company, and even the administration of the company must be very aware about these issues, and they must be very environmental sensibility amongst the community should also be very high. In pay for principle, it might cost a lot of money, and this happens when the company is really serious about environmental issues. So it so happens that even if it is costing them more, they anyway go ahead with it because they have a lot of commitment towards reducing their ecological footprint. However, this also might mean one of the two things. It also might mean that the consumers are paying more for the same products. So if a company is was earlier giving conventional food options and it is now shifting to organic food, you might see that the cost of organic food is slightly higher. Or for example, a company is offering digital services, the cost might be higher for consumers. So such things might happen. Usually it is seen currently in the consumer market that sustainable options or sustainable products are generally a little more costlier than the conventional options. So this happens mostly with the companies which indulge in the strategy of pay for principle, where they are so committed towards environmental issues that they do not care about the cost involved that much. Or secondly, it might also mean that the shareholders are getting less profit, which is again sometimes okay with the shareholders because they were the ones who in the first place wanted the company to adapt this kind of business model. So sometimes people who are very committed towards environmental issues might not mind paying more or getting less profit. However, this is something that you should know about, and you should pay attention to these two things. Pay for principle fundamentally means that we know that it is going to cost us money to do this. Okay, so you are already aware that this is going to cost more, but you are anyway doing it because maybe in the longer run it might mean that you will get some benefit, or maybe it will benefit the society or the environment. And the first idea is to do it anyway. uh, it might mean new research and development to develop new products and services which can be greener and have less environmental impact, and do more for the natural environment. So companies sometimes invest a lot of money in research and development of these greener options. So there is also some scope where you might see that additional costs might come up. And one way of succeeding through this kind of business model is by connecting to a consumer base which is willing to pay more for products and services which they think are sustainable. So there are definitely consumers who are willing to pay more for better services, for sustainable services. So this is the consumer base which usually works or fits very well with businesses who adopt this pay for principal model, because it is costing the company more, and here is a consumer base who is willing to pay more for sustainable options. So these two connect very nicely with each other, and this helps such businesses succeed, because any business, it needs profit. So in a shorter run these companies might not mind this eating up their profits, but in a longer run it will hamper a company's development. So it is always good to gradually connect with a consumer base that already wants to invest more money, or is already willing to invest more money in sustainable products and services. I'll see you in the next video, and for more information you can visit oneplanet.co.in. You can also download the PDF of this particular presentation by visiting oneplanet.co.in. Bye.